does it, that's the way Tony Cadlick does it, that's the way Arturo Sandoval does it. Arturo Sandoval plays on a 3C too. I asked him one time, why did you select the 3C? He says, because if I lose it, I can go to any music store and get another one. That's what he told me. Okay, any questions about what we talked about so far? Yes, sir.
Can you scream on it?
Beg your pardon?
Scream on it. Oh, no.
Scream? That's about it. That's about all the screaming I can do on that. I'll do that exercise until I can't do it anymore, and then I'll stop. I'll check my email. Do the exercise again, and then I'll make a phone call, but not too long. And then that's the way, just like a weightlifter would do weights. That's the way you do this. I have a high note mouthpiece too, but that's cheating. But a lot of professional trumpet players. Matter of fact, almost every professional trumpet player I know has an alternate mouthpiece where it's just playing on the higher register. Now, is playing high notes the most important thing about playing a horn? No. Most important thing is to get a good sound. Let's talk about vibrato for a second. There are different kinds of vibrato for different instruments. Like on the trumpet, there's a unique vibrato that I call hand vibrato. You see a lot of guys playing. You actually shake the horn to get the vibrato. The most common one for all the brass instruments is called lip vibrato. That's where you sort of, you think, while you're playing the note, you go, wah, 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 wah. You actually see the jaw. You actually see the jaw going up and down. Jaw is actually going up and down. This goes on all the instruments. Now, unique to the trombone is slide vibrato. Notice that I start the note and then add the vibrato later. I don't play the vibrato right off the top. It's not a note that starts with vibrato. You establish the note and then you put the vibrato in. Now I play my first position out. I push in quite a bit because some of this horn's been cut off. So I actually find my first position is not in a closed position, so I can use a slide vibrato in the first position. There's another kind of vibrato that sounds great on a euphonium, or a trombone, or even a tuba. It's called diaphragm vibrato. You hear flute players doing this too. That's where your diaphragm goes up and down. It's like, let's see. Do that, everybody. Your diaphragm's going up and down. So that's a whole other kind of vibrato. And the other possible exception is if the lead player in your section is using vibrato, then you match the lead player. Like sometimes in the trombone section it sounds good. You add some vibrato or something. Or if the lead trumpet player plays, that means everybody in the band that's playing at that point follows his vibrato. You follow. Playing in an ensemble is kind of like follow the leader. And it teaches us teamwork. Now, I don't expect all of you to become professional musicians like myself, but I do expect you guys to be successful businessmen, successful doctors, lawyers, accountants, teachers, inventors. I expect you all to be very successful at whatever it is that you choose to do. And one way or the other, your ability to work with a team in a very close way is going to be part of your success. And we learn this in playing in an ensemble. An ensemble, when we play in an ensemble, everything is exactly together. I mean, working together has to be so exactly together that it carries over into everything else we do in life. How about a question? Yes?
You said you warm up on tuba every day.
Yes.
Do you practice with all your instruments every day?
I practice on whatever I can, depending on what amount of time I have. My way of looking at all this is that it's these muscles that play all the instruments: flute, saxophone, all the brass. So, for instance, playing the trumpet is a very high tension job for the chops. So, if I have 15 minutes to practice, I'll do those lip slurs I was telling you about. I do these as long as I can. I'll just do those for 15 minutes, and that gives me a lot of work on these. Before we get off this thing about overtone series and harmonics, so I need a volunteer, a saxophone volunteer. Tenor would be ideal. No, okay. Oh no, alto's cool.
I'm very.
Tenor. Cool. What's your name? How are you? Very nice to meet you. And so, what kind of horn do you have? Okay, let's hear it. I'm gonna have you play a couple of notes. This may be an exercise you've never played, but you'll be able to do it. I play alto, tenor, and barry. I own a soprano, but I don't like the way I sound on it. But I do play alto, tenor, and baritone. Baritone's my favorite. Yeah. Anybody ever seen one of these? Okay. So have you ever wondered how guys like David Sanborn and Lenny Pickett and Michael Brecker play all those high notes on the saxophone? It's from doing similar exercises to what I was doing on the brass saxophone, just by playing harmonics. So this is that may be the first time you've done what I'm going to tell you. Okay, play your low B flat, everything down. Great. Excellent sound, right? Without changing any fingers, I want you to slur up to the octave above, without changing any fingers. Do play that note, and then that note, and then this note. There's another one there that you may have to search, like going in or out a little bit. But that's the start, is what I'm talking about. These guys play harmonics, like play a whole harmonic series on the saxophone, just like I'm playing it on the trombone. Like. Play that series on the saxophone with the same fingers down. That exercise will develop these muscles and give you, endurance and will eventually show you how to play it in the stratosphere. And I play with Lenny Pickett plays about 5 octaves above the string range. Anybody know who Lenny Pickett is?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Power, Saturday Night Live for the last 30 years, plays a solo on Saturday Night Live. Amazing guy. In fact, I was on a session one time with John Faddis and Lenny Pickett and myself, and they had a duel who could play chromatically the highest, and Lenny won. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, sir. That little guy takes a lot of compression. Yeah, you know, the airstream is very small and takes a lot of development of these corners we were talking about. So that's another alternative. If I have short enough of time to practice, I would just pick that up and play it for a while. It's really good for endurance. Yeah. Okay, how about a question? Yes?
I would total of like a whole day. How many hours would you say that you practice like throughout the whole day? Like,
Well, now see, I'm 69 years old. So I've been doing this for a long time. I've been playing professionally since I was 14. So what is that?
I mean, like every day, total like.
Well, see, you know, when I was your age, I practiced 4 hours a day. Now my day is it's caught up with an awful lot of different things. I'm a professional arranger, and I manage my own stock portfolio and my pension. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that go on in my day, but and I exercise too. Like part of my practice routine is working these muscles. I did 1,000 crunches yesterday. Yeah. How many did you do? This part of your body is very important in playing an instrument because you need, in order to push the air out at a consistent level, you need to develop these muscles. Now I got a little layer of fat over these muscles, but there are some muscles underneath. So we need to keep ourselves in good physical shape, and particularly this part of our body, because if I play my harmonics, can you come down here? Is it easy for you to get out? No? Yes, no? Okay. So I want you to put your fist in my stomach. So, right, what happens to my stomach when I go on high ratio?
Well, it kind of like.
It contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the muscles pushing the air out of my body. So that's where these muscles come in. It's not just the diaphragm. It's your abdominal muscles. Thank you. So, in answer to your question, no, I don't practice as much as I used to. But after a while, you learn certain things. After you practice things for 30 or 40 years, you learn things, and so you move on to other things to learn. So I can't say I practice as much as I'd like to, but when I was your age, I practiced 4 hours every day.
What would you say would be the ideal practice time that you?
Well, what is your instrument?
Trumpet.
The trumpet. Wow. Well, practice for one thing, these lips are exercises I'm telling you about. Practice long tones. Practice something out. Do you have an Arvin's book? Anybody know what the Arvin's book is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Play something out of the Arvin's book. Reading music is a good exercise. Playing a melody is a good thing because you can put yourself into the music. It can be an expression of your feelings. You can add vibrato at the right time in a song and make it your own. Music on a page just kind of sits there. It's music on a page. I don't hear anything. You have to make that music come alive. Music is invisible too. Did you ever think about that? You can watch a dude play an instrument, and you can look at a chart, but the music itself is invisible. And musician and magician are almost the same word. Think about that. So yeah, in answer to your question, yeah, I should practice more than I do. I'd be a better player if I practiced more. The more you practice, the better you get. I wish you could just like take a pill and you wake up the next morning and everything, and oh, I just play everything. It's not quite like that, you know. So I put in my hours of practicing, and it always pays off. It always pays off so quickly. Yes. Are you raising your hand?
Yeah. I was wondering how long you spend warming up.
Pretty much like I did right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I see. But my routine is I play the tuba first, and after I play the tuba, then I'm warmed up for everything else. I pick up the trombone and I'm already warmed up. I pick up the trumpet and I'm already warmed up.
So should
Now, that's
all
just
brass players
so that's the way. I'm not suggesting that you. I'm not suggesting that you do. You know, do everything the way I do, because I'm kind of a weird dude. But what is your instrument? What is your instrument?
Trumpet and piano.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
That's great. It's great. And you're a jazz guy?
Yeah.
So that's great. It's great to play a rhythm instrument and a horn, because then you understand more how to relate to what the rhythm section does. When I started playing bass, it opened up a whole new world of understanding what's going on. And I just understand how I'm supposed to play my horn with the rhythm section. You know, it just opened a whole new door in my life. Warming up, though, this is a good topic, and this goes to all the brass players. Start in the middle register. You don't just pick up the horn and go. You don't do that. You start in the middle register, and you start softly. You start softly. Herbie Green showed me this exercise for you trombone players. In all positions, keep going. And then the next one was. Now, what do these exercises have? You can go on down all the positions, do it in every position. It's the same thing with vowel combinations. I'll demonstrate on the trumpet. But the idea is that you're kind of in the middle of the horn. You're not too high, you're not too low, and you're articulating and slurring all in one little short exercise. In my own personal warm-up routine, I also I go low before I go high. For instance, if your lip slurs all the way down. And now I play what's called false tones. Okay, there's a low C. You don't need a bass drum. Now I can't really play these on the trumpet, but I know a lot of people that can, and it's known to be very good for your high register. It certainly works for me on the trombone. I wish I could demonstrate this on the trumpet. Can anybody here play pedal tones on the trumpet? You want to demonstrate for us? Sure, dude. What's your name?
Adam Plummer.
Very nice to meet you. Yeah. There's a a book years ago called High Double C in 37 Weeks, and one of the things it talked about was the lower you can play, the higher you can play, and I really think that's true, like on the tuba and the trombone. So, okay.
I play on a Yamaha 11B4, which is about the equivalent of a 7D.
Yes.
So it's more designed for upper register, but I can still hit like pedal stuff.
What kind of horn?
The Yamaha Zeno.
That's great. I think that's what Wayne Bruder plays, right? Do you play a Zeno or?
I don't know.
But, anyway, it sounded very good. Yeah. Okay, yes, sir.
So beyond fundamentals of the instrument, like when you were coming up, what kind of things were you doing, after warming up to get your creative mind going for either playing jazz or the types of fun you were doing at that time, as well as like now what you do to keep,
Any of you ever heard of Jamie Abersol?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I used to get these Jamie Abersol, you get a rhythm section on it. And the only thing better than Jamie Abersol is having a real rhythm section. That's the best thing, because you interact with the rhythm section when you improvise. But Jamie Abersol thing is, for getting your chops together and getting the changes together, is a great thing. And I know there's a lot more products out now, like play-along products, right? But I can play along with these for hours and get the changes in my head. Because it has chord changes written out, and then you actually hear the chord changes. Because in improvisation, when I first started improvising, I'm looking at the chord symbols and I'm thinking mathematically and which note's going to fit the chord and stuff like that, going back to my rock and roll days. But what in fact happens after you play a tune for over a period of years, you get the changes into your head, and then you don't really think mathematically. All things you are counted off. Okay, so I just hear stuff in my head and I just play it. I constantly hear a melody in my head all the time, 24/7, and I want to be able to play that melody, and I want to be able to play whatever comes out of my head. And so, I've been practicing improvisation since I was around 14, and the flow gets better and better. I don't really think about it. Let's see, how can I describe this? Your mind, your brain has two sides. One side is the intellectual side, the side that takes in information, takes in mathematical concepts. The other side of your brain kind of digests all these things and it spits out. The melody is coming from the other side of the brain. You have a dominant side and a non-dominant side. Like for instance, I'm right-handed, so my left brain is the one that takes in information and mathematical, logical thinking. The other side, the creative side, the right hemisphere, is the creative side, and we hopefully want to develop both sides of our brain equally during our lifetime. So, an example of this is like walking. When you learn to walk just by looking at somebody else and imitating their movements. You didn't read a book to learn how to walk. You just watched other people do it and you started doing it. That's an important way of learning. For instance, playing the trombone. I learned a lot about playing the trombone from watching somebody play, watching the way the slide moved and the wrist and everything moved as they played, watching how somebody held their valves, watching somebody's embouchure on the saxophone, how they put the air into the horn. We do a lot of things by imitation. Probably the most imitated instrument is probably the drum set. And there's a lot of great videos now, people like Steve Gadd and Steve Gordon, and there's a long list of great drummers that have made videos. You can actually just watch somebody play, and you can see, oh, Lenny White does this. That's the way he holds his hand when he hits the cymbal. That's an important way of learning. But so you don't really think about walking when you walk. You just do it. It's because you've been doing it so long that you don't think about it consciously. While you're walking, you're thinking about you're thinking about your scales. You're thinking about your math test that's coming up while you're walking. Same thing with driving. Now, I know some of you are young people and you're just learning how to drive. But when you get to be my age, you're driving on an automatic pilot, just like walking. You don't think about it anymore. You're thinking about your girlfriend while you're driving. Yeah. And so that's why we practice. That's why we practice, is so we get all these things in our brain so that we don't think about it anymore. I don't think so much about playing the trombone, but I do. I listen to that part of my brain that is always spitting out a melody and play that. And I want to play it spontaneously. I want to play it right then. There's no time. There's no time for a time lag. Oh, well, I should have played. Oh, I heard that note, but couldn't quite. No, everything has to happen at the same time. So we need to have as many aspects of playing our instruments down pat and to the subconscious level. Let's call it subconscious level, like driving the car, like walking. It's a subconscious level. Actually, it's a different kind of psychology. You have your body. You have a moving center that does stuff automatically without thinking about it. A lot of play on the bass is after you play it so many years, you just automatically go into playing certain patterns. Your body just goes there and does things like that. Yes?
Maybe for some of the students in the room that want to be professional, could you talk about some of the other skills that they might need to have to be a professional musician that maybe wouldn't be musical?
Oh, okay. This is a good subject. So if you want to be a professional musician, now this could be part-time professional, it could be full-time professional, but there's a lot of things that a lot of people overlook, and so let's go down the list. First of all, you show up on time. If somebody hires you to play, you show up on time and preferably 15 minutes early, because you might have to boil your valves, you might have to straighten your tie, and you might have to, okay, and that's the second thing. As a professional, there's usually something that you're supposed to wear to the job. And so you show up on time and you show up wearing whatever it is you're supposed to wear. It could be a black suit and a white shirt and a black tie like the Blues Brothers. It could be, it could be anything, but whatever it is. A lot of guys on Broadway, they just you have to wear all black to play on a Broadway pit. So that's pretty easy, right? Past that, you need to be able to sight read music perfectly the first time. You need to be able to play as many songs as you can by memory. You need to memorize as many songs as you can. And you need to be able to play those songs in all keys. Yes?
Tell them a story about being nice.
About
Being nice, the intern.
Oh, yeah. Oh, being nice. Yeah. Well, that's the key to my career. Be nice to everybody. Okay? Now, maybe there's somebody, you run into somebody and they're not exactly like you in one way or the other. That's not a reason to diss anybody. Be nice to everybody, and you'll find out how quickly your life will change for the better. I got some examples of that. Don't ever think that you're superior to anybody. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. When I was the music director of Saturday Night Live, it's a fairly high status job, right? And there's a kid that's an intern, that just works the desk as you come into the studio. But I never thought of myself as being superior to anybody. I think everybody's, in the eyes of God, everybody is the same. So this guy Rich is an intern. He's a nice guy. We became friends. I never thought of myself as being up here and him being down there. No, everybody's on the same level. So Rich and I became friends. And one day he says, Bones, I got a job. I'm out of here. And I'm like, congratulations. What are you doing? So I got an entry-level job at NBC Sports. Great. He says, Bones, if I ever need a band, I'm going to call you. And I didn't really think about that very long. And just like, well, what a nice thing for this kid to say, right? So a few years later, he's the producer of the Fox 5 TV show, sports show in Chicago. And he said, Bones, I need a theme for my show. You think you can handle it? You know, so I wrote him a theme and recorded it and sent it to him, and it ran for years. He calls me up one day and says, I'm going to produce 4 TV shows before the Super Bowl in Atlanta, 1994. You want to be the music director? Yeah. now he's producing a film, and I'm going to score the music for it. It's a film about Perry Wallace. Anybody know who Perry Wallace is? He was the first black basketball player, and he was in Alabama. And it's a 1965. Got a scholarship to Vanderbilt. It's going to be a great film. I'm not going to give it away. I shouldn't have told you any of that. It's actually all top secret, but anyway, it's going to be a great movie. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So, but be nice to everybody. Yeah, you got nothing to lose, and you'll find out that you'll make new friends and you'll understand new concepts. And so, keep your mind. I got another story too. I shouldn't tell this story, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Okay, promise you won't ever repeat this story, right? Everybody? Swear on a stack of Bibles. Okay. So, when I was music director at Saturday Night Live, I was there from 81 to 85. And from 83 to 85, Jim Belushi was in the cast. And his brother had just passed away about a year prior, so he and I are instant friends because of my relationship with his brother. And but John was kind of Jim Belushi, he was kind of full of himself a little bit. You know, he thought he was kind of up here and everybody else was down there. And he gave people a hard time. Like, people would write a script for him. The writers would write a script for him. And he'd read it, he'd tear it up, throw it in the trash, and say, this is garbage, I'm not going to do this. And so, in the early days of the show that year, Jim wasn't getting on. And the producers were like, well, we got this guy signed, what are we going to do? So they ended up hiring a writer from Second City that was a friend of Jim's from Chicago. And they brought him in, Rob Riley, and he wrote just for Jim. And we had some successful things that we worked on. But during this period, you know, Jim was a little bit of a hothead, and he had his manager, one day he got mad at his manager, and he fired his manager. So now, fast forward 15 years, 1996, Dan Aykroyd wrote a script for a movie called The Blues Brothers 2000. And he's pitching it to Universal. He's trying to get Universal to buy this movie.